to the 1.4% for April 2016. Then we also looked at the components of the inflation rate. We saw that the year-on-year non-food inflation rate for May 2016 was 25.0% compared with the 24.8% recorded in April 2016. And then also we saw that for the food inflation rate, we had 8.5% for May 2016 compared with the 8.4% recorded for April 2016. And then we also found out that the year-on-year non-food inflation rate was about three times that of the food inflation rate. And then we also discovered that for the locally produced items, the inflation rate was 19.0%. And this was 0.5 percentage points higher than the inflation rate for the imported items. That recorded an inflation rate of 18.5% for May 2016. Then we are saying that for the non-food group, the main price drivers were transport, which had an inflation rate of 40.9%, housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels, 35.7%, education 32.3%, and recreation and culture 27.9%. And for the food inflation rate, the price drivers were vegetables 11.6%, oils and fats 11.2%, fruits 10.3%, mineral water, soft drinks, fruits and vegetable juices 9.9%, coffee, tea, cocoa 8.9%, and meat products 8.8%.
The Greater Accra and Ashanti regions recorded the highest inflation rates, higher than the national average of 18.9%. Greater Accra recorded 22.6%, while Ashanti recorded 20.8%. The Upper East region also recorded the lowest rate of 15%.
Government has justified its decision to hand over management of the Tema Shipyard and the Dry Dock Company to the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GAPOHA. This follows a position by a section of the workers who were pushing for a consortium comprising of SNET, GAPOHA and GNPC to manage the facility instead of GPHA alone. More in this report.
A section of workers of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA, were pushing for a consortium comprising SNET, GPHA and GNPC to manage the facility instead of GPHA alone. But Transport Minister Fifi Kwete explains to Joy Business the Ports and Harbours Authority was selected after emerging talks in the evaluation process.
But the plan really was not just to remain at that. The plan was to get a transaction advisor and set in place a process by which we will know really the way forward. And the whole aim at all time has always been to see how we could position it to be able to draw technical expertise, management expertise in terms of so that the shipyard can go where it ought to go. A number of proposals were submitted, which Cabinet took an extensive look at. But of all the options that we had available, the best option we thought was that GPHA should actually be handed over the shipyard. There is a certain natural combination of the two. GPHA, through its own operations over the most recent years, has shown increasingly to be very viable, capable of leveraging finances, and also being able to draw the necessary technical partnership in order to make it.
Government is expecting the decision to attract the needed investment into the company to enable its venture into the building of floating production storage and offloading FPSO vessel. This government is hoping will help create more jobs whilst diversifying and adding value to the economy. Some of the workers expressed their satisfaction with government's decision, but called for an audit of the company's operation before the new owners take over.
I want the presidency to set an independent inquiry or a committee to investigate and audit the petitions. Secondly, the CEO himself and his managers. Because we are in the soup and we know what has gone on and what is going on. All we pleading to the presidency that the audit is very important for us. We're happy to be under the management of GPHA. And one thing we knew about them is that they have the technical men, they have the capacity, they have the liquidity to revamp this company.
It's true that there were some allegations like that Chris Akume's report should be implemented. And since GPHA was mentioned in the Chris Akume's report, we see it as the same thing that they are saying. GPHA has taken over. So it still remains like that. There was not a consortium. We don't need any consortium. What we said is we want GPHA. And whatever they said, it was just, they were sharing their ideas. And the president has listened to both of us, and then he think the best option is to go for GPHA. So we don't need any consortium.
GPHA currently manages a dry dock facility in Takoradi. Joy Business gathers the current heads of departments at the PSC Tema Shipyard and Dry Dock Company have been asked by GPHA to prepare their handling over notes. This, sources say, is expected to fast-track the takeover of the yard.
Divergent views there, but in the center of all these is the Ghana Port and Harbors Authority. How ready is it for the takeover? PR and marketing manager Joanna Ada joins us live on the line with some perspectives on this. Madam Ada, you're welcome to Business Live.
Thank you, my senior.
Exactly. Can you tell us what is the authority's response to this government decision?
Well, good evening to your listeners. Indeed, we got to know of the cabinet approval in the media. GPHA is yet to receive a formal transfer of the facility from government through our sector ministry. That's the Ministry of Transport.
So you mean officially you've not been informed on this particular decision?
No, we got to know from the media.
All right. Then we know you bid for this about 4 years ago. How timely or otherwise is this particular decision by the government?
Well, we don't have a problem with that. We are not shaking. We are ready because we have the expertise and capacity to man the facility.
Well, if you say you have the capacity financially, we are also picking from some of your members to the effect that you don't have the financial muscle to actually project this agenda that is expected of you to move the facility to the point where it's expected. What do you make of that? Are you financially strong?
Well, before I answer this question, let me get back. I believe that this formal notice to us will give the GPHA a direction where to lift the dry dock to and what steps, to take to turn around the facility. It is at this point that we will look at the dynamics, consider budgetary allocations, and draw up an action plan towards the facelifting and efficient management of the dry dock. If you say that, if you're asking whether we have the financial capacity, my senior GPHA has undertaken and is undertaking a myriad of projects funded through loans or through internally generated funds. Some are 400-meter, long bulk jetty at a cost of $122 million, which is going to be paid by the authority. We are upgrading and expanding the port of Takoradi at about 197 million euro. We are putting up a maritime hospital at a cost of 23 million euro. And we are also coming up with a port expansion phase 2 at about $1 billion. So if you hear these figures, it should tell you that we have the financial capacity.
Exactly. So essentially what you're saying is that the authority has the financial muscle to actually put this particular thing through. But then the point is that you are expected to grow to the point where you can start building FPSO facilities here in Ghana. That's exactly what we are talking about. So are you ready financially and technically to actually get up to speed with this?
Senior, until we get the formal notification from government, that's why I said that the government will give us a direction, and it is at that point that we would look at the dynamics.
No, but you bid for this for almost about 4 years ago. I'm sure, until now, you should be preparing and organizing yourself, probably putting your balance sheet together to the point where you can actually finance this single-handedly or probably with some partners?
Well, when we get there, we'll cross the bridge. We'll wait for the formal notification.
Assuming that the notification comes tomorrow, what are you going to do?
That is why I'm saying that when we get the notification, we'll look at the dynamics and then see what budgetary allocations we'll put to it, and then come up with an action plan.
Okay, how about those who are also saying that you need some partnership, and others are also saying you don't need partnership? Exactly what is the opinion or what is the stand of the authority on this particular, divergent views being put together by your members?
Well, I don't know what they mean by we need some partnership. And in terms of financial, or expertise, or...
Yeah, in both respects.
In both respects.
Yes.
Yes, I told you already. Let's wait to see what the formal notification will tell us, and then we'll take it from there. If we think that we need partnership, why not? We'll get some partners.
Okay.
If we think we don't need, we would...
All right. We thank you very much for your insight there. That is the PR and Marketing Manager for the Ghana Port and Harbors Authority, giving us some perspective into that particular happenings there in Tema. Now, moving on here on Business Live, the Minerals Commission is stepping up efforts aimed at regularizing activities of illegal miners across the country. This forms part of measures to address the illegal mining menace, popularly called galamsey, in the sector. The phenomenon has posed a major threat to the legally registered mining firms, but the growth of the sector and the economy at large. The Chief Executive of the Commission, Dr. Tony Obin, explains to Joy Business, roping in the galamsey operators into the mainstream mining has been identified as a more sustainable way of addressing the issue.
As a country, we're facing a major challenge of informal mining, the method being used, and even the process. And then there's also somehow the lack of understanding of who does what. You see a lot of illegal mining going on. You see it impact directly on us, and it's very worrying. And as a country, we sometimes seem to want to say someone has to do it. Another one says the other one has to do it, which is a problem, because as a country, we must collectively decide that what is wrong is wrong. If illegal mining is wrong, it is wrong. What the Commission is doing with the support of government is to ensure that for those who are law-abiding, but probably lack of knowledge, they are doing illegal things, we're making things easier for them to register, to work peacefully and all that. But there are those who are still recalcitrant, that they don't want to spend 1 week looking for papers. They would rather go straight and dig and destroy people's farm and destroy our waters. They are the people that collectively we must stop.
Exactly.
Because if you go to, if someone came to your farm digging for gold or for any mineral, you haven't given him the permission, or he doesn't have the permission from government, because you don't have the right to give a permission for anyone to mine. Who do you go to?
And sometimes it gets violent and all that. Yeah. But are we close to dealing with it? What has made it so difficult? Are we losing the fight?
Yeah, we are not losing the fight. I think we have a focus on resolving that. The Commission has proposed some things that we believe, when applied, would really help.
Such as what?
Recently, we've said we'll take the bull by the horn by registering illegal miners. They are not to be, in a way, if you're not careful, you say, these are illegal miners, you need to have the police to bulldoze them off and all that. But we've done that many times, the problem persists. So we need to sit with them, just register them, get where they are. And then once we know where they are, support them directly, either move them from where they are because we know where they are, or support them to regularize themselves.
Meanwhile, the Wasa Association of Communities Affected by Mining, WACOM, is unhappy about what it describes as the low level of involvement of mining communities in the management of mineral revenues. According to the association, revenues generated from the mining have over the years been utilized to the benefit of said communities. It is worried that the phenomenon is not addressed could see the indigenes violently prevent mining activities in their communities. Executive Director Hannah Osu-Cranton told Joy Business it is the country's interest for the inhabitants of mining communities to be engaged.
And so if you look at the extractive sector and participation, you realize that decisions are always taken at the top of society and then push down the truth of communities. So you go to many communities and they are not even aware of which companies are supposed to be operating in their community. And that has presented a challenge to communities. What has been in the pipeline, which government has rectified, is that in recognizing this, they have passed many conventions and protocols that enjoins government to internalize the free, prior and informed consent, which will give the communities the power to take decisions. It's going to provide them with information, and then based on the information, they can decide which economic activity would be more profitable to them. That's one aspect of it. Apart from that, we are supposed to be in an era of transparency. And you know, if you talk about initiative, it's not just a one-off thing. It begins from somewhere and then ends at somewhere. So at every stage of the mining exploitation, from the decision to mine or not to mine closure and decommissioning, there's the need to involve citizens in the processes. After all, the natural resource is for all of us per law. And so if I talk about governance, I'm not just limiting that to policymakers and then people in politics taking the decisions on behalf of people, but then demanding accountability from these stewards that we have commissioned to take our interests into account, to be more open with us and then discuss the issues dispassionately for us to understand what really they want to do with natural resource. And together we'll decide whether it's good or bad for the state.
We are taking a short break. Business Live will be back after this.
Business Live today was brought to you by Ghana Commercial Bank.
You don't have change? Oh, madam! Madam! Oh!
Why lose valuable business? Receive payments instantly on GCB Light Pay with Ainifesa, MasterCard, GH Link or GCB Ready Cash Card. You can pay with GCB Light Pay even in the remotest of places. No need for cash or waiting for change. Get paid with ease and stay in control. GCB Light Pay, no long things.
You're welcome back, and up next we are taking Business Van here on Business Live.
The Joy Business Van is brought to you by Busy, making good things happen.
They are called social entrepreneurs, meaning they are in the business of making social impact. They are the focus of today's special edition of the Joy Business Van in commemoration with the AU Day of the African Child, which falls tomorrow. Joy Business Daryl Kwao has been engaging some of these entrepreneurs whose focus is on the improvement of the lives of children.
Clap for yourself. Taking school children through anti-drowning lessons, caring for children with autism. Felix Uzo and Sawa Kweno are two of very few entrepreneurs for children in the country. Felix runs the Felix Fitness Center, a holistic sports company. The process from his business going to teaching children, especially in flood-prone areas, to be safe around water.
According to WHO, drowning is the third leading cause of accidental problem around the world. Over 500,000 people drown each year, of which sub-Saharan Africa has the highest. And most of the drowning in sub-Saharan Africa, such as Ghana, is underreported. Okay? Because they are underreported, people don't know about it. Because there was a need, parents want us to see what we can do. We've set up Felix Foundation.
This was driven by what appeared at first a misfortune, a son with autism. Today, Auntie Sewa runs the Autism Awareness Care and Training Center, which provides training and educational services to children with autism in order for them to function more effectively in society.
This is the preschool classroom. Most of them are outside doing exercise. As you say, it looks like a regular school. Preschool, the kinds of things that we do, and the children have difficulties. Most of them have difficulties with communication, social interaction difficulties, and therefore it causes them to have behavior challenges because they have sensory issues. And these are the things that we teach them. We teach them in pictures, and we teach them using the spoken language. We also teach them, any form of communication at all.
These entrepreneurs for children are also categorized as social entrepreneurs, meaning they're in business not just for the money, but to make social impact. Funding their enterprises is, however, a challenge.
In the beginning, from the very word we set go, although we set up as an NGO, we had to start charging money, because how are we going to sustain ourselves if we didn't charge money? It's been 18 years that we sustained ourselves. So we've been seeing other ways and other opportunities to build this center up. So therefore we get the children involved in other activities that we can then sell to the public to raise funds.
There will always be a need, and making money is another thing. You just want to keep your thing surviving. Yes, you can't completely say, you can't say never. Okay, if you say never, you will not be 100% right.
Yeah. Okay. Reach for Change is a global organization that invests in social enterprise startups, especially those with a focus on children. Amalate is Africa Regional Manager.
We're venture philanthropists, so we find social entrepreneurs, we invest in them, and we give them support programs. There's one called the Accelerator Program and another called the Incubator Program. And the goal is to enable them take an idea, establish it as a venture that creates both impact and is financially sustainable.
Reach for Change is currently providing support for social enterprises like those owned by Felix and Auntie Sewa.
So the impact that we've had, we have in Ghana currently 22 social entrepreneurs in our program, all with initiatives affecting children's lives. And altogether, over the years, they've reached over 100,000 children. And these are real children whose lives have been improved, health has been improved, the educational outcomes have been improved. And for many of these organizations, they did not exist. When they won the competition, they won with an idea. And we know that even after they've left the program, they will continue to grow, they will continue to scale.
And there's no stopping these two entrepreneurs. They've got bigger dreams, and they could not have followed a better passion.
The Joy Business Van was brought to you by Busy, making good things happen.
Entrepreneurs for children doing amazing things. You can watch the Joy Business Van again on the marketplace. That's at 1 p.m. tomorrow on this channel. Time now for the busy bit for today.
A firewall is a system designed to prevent unauthorized access to or from a private network. Firewalls can be implemented in both hardware and software, or a combination of both. By setting up firewall, an organization can control the amount of bandwidth used on the office internet and even by individual. restrict your staff from certain websites during working hours, or can prevent video downloads on your corporate internet.
We're taking a short break. Business Live will be back. And this is where we draw down the curtains on today's edition of Business Live. You can stay interactive with us on Twitter. Our handle is JoyBusinessGH, and on Facebook is Joy Business. For more business stories, you can log on to myjoyonline.com/business. My name is John Kojo Amwago. Have a very good evening.